Good evening and welcome to Wellsboro Gymnasium, where once again the Wellsboro Lady Hornets volleyball team is back in action as they play host to the Athens Wildcats, coached by Heather Hansen. We have Wellsboro just coming off of a really busy week of homecoming festivities, and I know here at the school there has been a ton of activity today between cross-country match and the guys' soccer game with Athens as well. I'm awaiting a final score there because I know last time when the soccer team played, that was a really good match between the Wellsboro boys and the Athens Wildcats. So this is the first meeting of these two teams for this season. They will again meet in about a week and a half as we wrap up this season. Referees for this evening are Andy Boyer and Chris Decker. And we will be having, just looking here, the anthem in just a few minutes. For those who may be wanting some details, homecoming crowning festivities will actually be held at the football game of Wellsboro versus Athens in 2 weeks. And so homecoming festivities will wrap up on that time. For this afternoon's lineup, the Athens Wildcats roster is number 1, Cassie Babcock, number 2, Kaylin McDaniel, number 3, Ella Coyle, number 4, Audrey Clare, number 5, Taylor Walker, number 7, Jenny Ryan, number 8, Cassie Friend, number 11, Braylon Wood, and number 12, Allie Martin. For the Wellsboro Lady Hornets, we have number 1, Natalie Cleveland, number 2, playing libero this evening is Olivia Servatius, number 3, Emma Owlett, number 7, Izzy Andreg, number 8, Maddie Bordis, number 10, Meredith Brownlee, number 13, Bree Smith, number 16, Emily Starkweather, number 20, Lexi Urena, number 22, Paige Logston, number 24, Maya Lockett, and number 28, Grace Hines. Wellsboro is coached by Mrs. Sharon Zahusky, who I think we figured out the other day. This is like her 35th year of coaching at some level at a variety of different programs from where she has lived throughout her career. So in just a few moments, we'll be getting to game action. The Wellsboro Lady Hornets come in this evening with a record of 6-8. They will be wrapping up the season on the 28th with a home game versus Troy. In the meantime, our next home game will be Wednesday, October 20th with Coudersport. And it says on the schedule that there is an away game at Central Mountain, but I'm not sure that one's still happening or not. So check with one of your volleyball players or check the schedule as the week progresses. But Saturday, they're back at Towanda, and that was a good match earlier in the season. So I'm hoping that Hornets will come out with the win this time. Additionally, a week from tonight is that repeat matchup of Wellsboro versus North Penn Liberty, and hopefully many of you will tune in or travel to Liberty to catch that game. It was a fun one last week, and yes, I admit I was a little animated with it. So as we get started here, we're going to have number 11, Braylon Wood, serving for Athens to get us started. Ball is in. Bree Smith handles it. Outside set by Bordas to Logston, who hits down the line, and it is good. Athens is calling that it was outside the antenna. Referee Boyer says, no, it wasn't, and therefore the point counts. And our lines person did call that it was outside the antenna, so it is actually a point to Athens. You will see on the corner of each line is a lady with a flag, and the idea is that they are to assist the officials in making the calls, and that's what they were trying to do, is to get that call. So Bree Smith handles that one. It is an outside pass by Maddie Bordas. Roll shot by Logston, and it's off the hands of the block and lands on Athens' side. So we have a score of 1-1, and Bordas is back to serve. Bordas has a low serve, handled well by Athens. Outside tight set, and it is into the net, and point to Wellsboro. Another low driving serve, and this one's a little harder to handle let's see what the number is there. I think it says number 1, Cassie Babcock. A top spin again. This time didn't have as much spin, so it floated a little bit and ended up again with a serve-receive error. See a slight adjustment there by Athens on serve-receive, where they kind of did a different three-man serve-receive, three-person serve-receive set, moving number 1 a little deeper. And you'll see teams make adjustments as you might have someone struggling with a particular server. Bordas to serve that time into the net, and back to serve is number 5, Taylor Walker. A deep serve to Urena. Bordas passes it to Smith, who free balls it over. It is outside set to number 12, who hits it deep, handled by Servatius. A little bit of a stick there in Bordas' hands as Starkweather chases after it, but it hits it into the net. Walker serve this time. Goes again to Smith. Servatius gives it a hand. Smith calls it. Number 12 handles it right to the setter. It is a hit off the hands of Logston, and that will be a big block and the first of the evening for Logston. She has an incredible eye there, and as a former volleyball coach, you'll love it when you have someone who can catch that block. So Starkweather serve goes deep. It is handled and spiked there by Athens. Passed well and set up, and Logston gets the kill. Now, a kill is where you have an overhand hit that is actually what they call terminates the play. In other words, it ends the play. It is considered a spike attempt if you hit the ball over and it is dug or handled by the opposing team. It's just an attempt, kind of like a baseball swing. Starkweather serve has a little bit of a side spin this time, handled by number 1, middle hit, but hits off the hands of Logston. Back row attack by number 1, dug by Starkweather. Outside set to Owlett. It is dug up by number 1, but a miscommunication by Athens results in a point to Wellsboro. Now, statistically speaking, that there could be deemed a kill. It also could be seen as an error by the Athens players, as it was still a usable ball. At this time, we see that referee Boyer just called an illegal rotation where you had an overlap situation between two players. You cannot be behind the person who's directly behind you, nor can you be outside of the people who are to each side of you. So something was overlapped there. All right, and so number 5, Taylor Walker, tips that over and did a beautiful job. However, she is called as being a back row attacker because she is actually in what we call the one position, and so she has to keep her feet on the floor when she tips that over. If she plays it above the height of the net in front of the 10-foot line, it's illegal. Beautiful set there to number 8, who hits it, but it's dug by Servatius. Free ball by Starkweather. Set up to number 3, who hits it over. Starkweather handles it. It's a little long, and Urena is in the net this time as she tries to reach to block that, and just goes a little too far, catches the top of the tape. Cassie Friends serve this time, serves from the back middle. She goes just a little bit wide out to the left side. Coming into the game for our libero is Grace Hines, and Logston's back to serve. Top spin deep serve to number 11. It is passed up by number 5. Free balled over by Athens. Bordas takes that. Starkweather scrambles after it, and Owlett puts it over deep. Athens goes to set it up with a tip shot. Starkweather's ready. Bordas sets outside to Owlett, who hits that up, and it is off the tip. So number 3, Ella Coyle, comes down ready to play it, which is what you're supposed to do. However, she could play it again. She just couldn't play it 3 times. Logston serve goes to number 13. Ball is set to the middle. It is down the pipe with Logston digging it. Outside set to number 3, Owlett, but it just catches the tape. Back into the game is our libero, Servatius, for Logston. Allie Martin is back to serve. She has a short top spin there, handled by Owlett. It is rolled over by Emma Owlett, who knows that she was a little off the net, so she just made it usable, and as a result, that is considered a kill. It finds the floor. Cautious play, but an aggressive play. Urena's serve goes deep, handled by number 12, set by number 5, back to number 12, dug by Servatius. Urena setting tonight. There is a deep set, or deep hit by Owlett. I love seeing the tall girls set. As a former setter myself, I love it. Ella Coyle's serve is handled. Free ball by Starkweather. Passed up by Coyle, outside to number 11. It is short as the Hornets dive for it. It is a kill for number 11, Braylon Wood. Coyle serves again, this time deep. Starkweather handles it, but it's overpass. As the attempt is to spike it down the line, it goes just a bit wide. Coming back into the game for Emma Owlett is Bree Smith, who is going back to serve. Bree serve is a little sideways of a twist, handled by number 3. Middle hit, dug by Bree. Free balled over by Hines deep, and no one's there, and she catches the corner. This time Smith serve again, same place to Coyle, who struggles a little bit. This ball is spinning in a corkscrew pattern as her hand is coming around the side of the ball, causing it to spin sideways. So it gives a slightly different angle when it comes off the arms. Smith goes straight down. That one was complete float, but this time they call number 1 out of rotation, and therefore a point to Wellsboro. Bree Smith serves again. It is handled by number 12. A light hit by number 11, Braylon Wood, and that results in a kill for Athens. We've rotated all the way around, and Cassie Babcock's back to serve again. Bree Smith handles it up. Free ball by Starkweather down the line deep. Babcock passes it. It's outside set to number 11, Wood. Wellsboro uses it. Tip by Starkweather. It is set to the middle hitter, number 8, Cassie Friend, and it does not quite make the net. At this time, Coach Hansen is going to call a timeout and try to settle her ladies. Just trying to take a look here tonight. I don't see Olivia Chilson here, and that is why she was not singing for us this evening, our anthem, and we had to play on the overhead. However, I do see that Isabel Andreg is back, as she had a little bit of a knee injury last week and missed some game action as a result. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that puts 12. I count 12, so everyone else is accounted for this evening. Score is presently Wellsboro 18, the Wildcats 8. It appears that our student body this evening is having a semi-whiteout. I think it's supposed to be a whiteout, but you have some others that are wearing color, but that's okay. We like the green as well. Grace Hines' serve is top spin, handled by number 12 to the weak side set. Number 11 hits it right off of Logston's hand. It is an overpass back to Logston because they Wildcats dug it up, and Logston's ready and hits it down the line, and that is a kill for Logston. Grace Hines serves again, top spin to number 1. The setter handles it up there, and number 12 hits it deep corner this time as Allie Martin gets the kill. Back into the game is Servatius for Hines. Wood serve is low with a little bit of a backspin to it. Urena gets it. Starkweather free balls it over. Called for by setter number 5. Nice angle by number 12 to keep it between the antenna. Outside set to Starkweather. It went over with a touch, set back up by Logston, and this time Starkweather gets the kill. Bordas is coming back in here for Brownlee as she gets prepared to serve. A low, slightly floating serve by Bordas. Athens plays off that block by Logston, and so outside set by Bordas, and Starkweather uses it and gets the kill. Now, again, just like the kill, if the ball doesn't hit the floor on the block, it's just a block attempt. But Logston's doing a great job. Beautiful serve by Bordas as the ball scoots out of bounds on that nice serve. Bordas has a top spin that time, handled by number 11, passed up by number 5, free ball by number 12. Urena sets to the well, it looked like the middle, but Starkweather came over to save it. Down the middle, Urena pops it up. Bordas takes it. Smith free balls it over. Passed up by number 1. Outside set to number 12, and it doesn't quite make the net. Bordes to serve again, top spinning down to number 11. Set right back to number 11. She goes deep, and it's just a bit outside. And you'll see the linesperson making the call, as did the referee. This brings up set point for Wellsboro Hornets. A low side spinning serve this time. Oh, and number 5 attempts to do the back tip, and it's a little in front of her, and as a result, results in the 25th point of the set. So the players head to the benches. Again, we will not be switching because we are still following COVID protocol, which means that the players will stay to each of their sides. They also don't shake hands. And you will see that when they are on the benches, they are told to be wearing masks. When they are playing, they do not have to, per CDC guidelines. If you do decide to come down to the match this evening, please bring your masks. We do have some masks out at the ticket booth, but it's always nice to have your own because sometimes your own is a little more comfortable than the paper masks. As we were looking at offenses and defenses here, you'll see that Wellsboro plays the 6-2 with a setter coming from the back row, so there are always 3 eligible hitters in the front. However, with the setter being in the right back, you'll see a lot of dumps frequently to that right back position, so that usually the right front is your backup setter. It varies from team to team. Sometimes they'll use the middle as the backup setter, but you always have to be communicating. Now, Athens this evening, it appears they're running a 5-1 with Taylor Walker as the setter all the way around, which means when Taylor is in the front row, she is an eligible hitter as well as a setter. But it does look like she's kind of quarterbacking the floor down there, and Athens is not running with a libero, that odd-colored jersey this year. So just recognize that you do have different offenses and defenses, even in volleyball, and it's always fun to play with those a little bit as you go. Wellsboro headed out quickly from the huddle. It appears that you have Bordes, who's going to serve in the front right now. It appears that's Starkweather. Front middle is Logston. Outside is Urena. Back left is Bree Smith, and back middle will be Grace Hines. Servatius is our libero coming in for our middle hitters usually, so she'll be coming in for Hines here in just a moment. For Athens, in the service position, you have Cassie Babcock. In the front right is Braylon Wood. Front center appears to be number 5, the setter, Taylor Walker. Outside is number 8, Cassie Friend. Number 12 is in the back left, Allie Martin, and number 3 is in the back middle, Ella Coyle. Bordes' serve is handled by Martin. Free ball by Walker. Starkweather handles it quickly. Set is a little tight, and Starkweather attempts to try to walk the line, but she comes under the net, resulting in a point to Athens. And you have to rotate, so you'll see that going back to serve is Braylon Wood. Wood's serve goes to Smith, who gets it right to Bordes, sets up Logston, who approaches and hammers it down. I love seeing Madeline Callahan over there holding up her sign in support. She was running earlier tonight. She's had a busy evening. Float serve by Starkweather. Outside set to number 12. Beautiful approach, but her swing was just a touch late, and as a result, finds the tape, finds the net. Starkweather's serve is low with a slight spin. Passed up by number 8. Free ball down the line to number 3. Bordes is out, so Urena steps up to set. Logston goes to that back corner, but this time Athens has made the adjustments. Nice high free ball. Servatius steps up. Tight inside set as Ellett goes and chases it, but ends up in the net as she comes down off the approach. Taylor Walker is in the back to serve. Her serve goes deep to the corner, and it is just in, according to the referee. the lines person said she really couldn't tell. It was a close call. So Walker's serve goes down the line, definitely in this time with a swing hit here. Owlett passes, shuffles out, hits that. Free ball over by Athens. Servatius is ready. Middle set to Logston, who uses that block and gets the point for the kill. She's got to have like 4 or 5 kills already tonight. Into the game is Grace Hines. Beautiful serve results in an ace. Logston serves again here. This time she goes much shorter as the transition's going on in the front row. She catches Athens in that transition because it fell way short of the 10-foot line and results in another ace. And again, if you haven't figured it out, an ace would be not an error on the other team. It is actually a ball that's non-returnable. So again, serving down the seams on your serve receive is always a good thing. Now, as far as serve receive goes, you'll see a number of different varieties going on. Sometimes you'll see a 5-man serve receive where they try to tuck away the setter, so she is not taking that first ball but is taking a second to set up the play. Sometimes, more often than not, at the varsity level, you'll see a 4 or a 3-person serve receive where you rely on your best passers to handle the ball. The fewer the people back, the less likely the error on communication, but it does leave a whole lot more room that you have to cover and handle. So a great serve receive is moving on contact, watching hand placement, direction of the shoulders, so they're anticipating, not just reacting. Logston's serve is short. Arms out by Walker as she knew she had to get it because it was going to hit right on that 10-foot line. So she steps back a little bit to prepare to handle this one again. Logston goes deep this time, and it is off the fingertips of number 1, Cassie Babcock. Top spin serve to number 3, Coyle. Passed outside, and it is a roll shot by 12. Starkweather handles that. Beautiful set out to Owlett, who goes deep cross-cornered, handled up by number 11. A push over. Starkweather's ready. Another, a little bit inside this time. And off the block, it hits off the head. Now, technically, that is a playable ball. When it hits off her head, it's any part of the body goes. Even if you kick at it, it is a legal play. Because it was off the hands and above the height of the net, she could play it again. So that would have counted as pass 1. Incredible save by number 12. It goes over. Wellsboro's ready and puts it back over. Athens then is ready for the quick back over, and it results in just steady defense wins them that point. Sometimes you just have to play what we call scrappy volleyball, where you're constantly chasing it until you settle down. Number 8 serve is short, but Owlett was back ready. Outside, weak side should say, hit there to, or set to Urena, who goes deep in that corner, but it is handled by Athens. Pass by Starkweather to Bordas, outside to Owlett, who does a floor spike, but it's very controlled and well directed into that seam, and point to Owlett and the Wellsboro Hornets. Back into the game for Bordas is Meredith Brownlee. Urena serve, top spinning to number 12. Set to the back row, pushed over. Urena is out. Emma Owlett calls that she's got it. Free ball by Urena. Set up and free balled by Athens, who tries to hit that, what we call the campfire area. Push by Brownlee. Ball is passed up. free balled by number 5. Starkweather passes it to the perfect spot for the setter. It is a perfect placement for that set. Owlett uses it, but it is great defense by Athens that results in a couple extra hits before Wellsboro finally earns that point. Another top spin. Number 12, as you saw, was anticipating that and moved before that ball was even contacted, which is legal. You'll see a slight overpass dug out of the net by number 5, but it can't quite go over. Now, if you have players that are crossing at the net, you'll see Wellsboro cannot move until that ball is actually struck, and then they actually move into their strengths of hitting position. Off the top of the block, Starkweather passes that easily to the setter, tip by Owlett. It is a cross-court hit. Starkweather digs again. Hines free balls it over deep. Again, free ball by Athens. Urina's out of the play. Megan Brownlee helps, and in the attempt of bringing it back, it is outside the antenna, point to Athens. 5 serving 12. Allie Martin's serve is deep to Starkweather, passes it nice and high to Urina. Approach and deep hit by Brownlee. It was a sweet swing. And that is kind of a slide approach there. It looks more like a layup, but the idea with it is by going off of 1 foot, Babcock was able to actually twist in the air and bring it back around her body without carrying it. It was a nice play. Starkweather passes to Urina, who puts that in the perfect spot for Brownlee, whose approach hit right down on top of that to that hard cross just outside of the 10-foot line. And a kill for Brownlee, and the Wellsboro Hornets take back the serve. Smith is back into the game for Owlett. Floating serve. It is saved by Athens. Urina passes that. Set by Brownlee. Dug by number 8. A back row attack, again, dug by 20. Brownlee yells move so that they know she is the backup setter right now. And sometimes that's what it is, but they're laughing about it right now because she definitely communicated, and everybody's laughing. Bree Smith serve again, and we find that this time they're saying number 5 was on the wrong side of the player, and it is a rotation error. So what happened was I don't quite know what that call was because who they said she was overlapped with is not the person she's beside. So she may have been too far to the side of the middle hitter. So either way, Athens gets that point, and number 3, Ella Coyle, is back to serve. Floating serve. Starkweather handles it, but it's over. The block goes up. Brownlee with this amazing save. And then there's confusion at the net, and Urina wasn't quite deep enough to take that, and so Servatius is explaining where she needed to be. So as the setter, she has to release to that right back and play defense before she releases unless it's a free ball. Oh, no. Off her shoulder. Servatius called it out and ducked, but didn't quite duck low enough, and as a result, it bounced off her shoulder again. Smith could have played it, but they were all twisted up there because she'd called it out, and that was kind of funny. Coyle's serve goes to Smith. Smith gets a beautiful pass there, and it is handled and hit by Brownlee. Dug by Servatius. You have Urena, and you saw that referee Decker did the hand motion that was kind of like a sideways swipe, which meant that Urena stayed below the height of the net, knowing she was a back row player attempting to stay, so she wasn't playing as a back row hitter. Oh, man, that is always a killer. So Grace Hines has a serve, and yes, people, that is legal. It hit the top of the tape and rolled over, and that's what just breaks your heart in the game of volleyball. I know that makes Coach McKnight flinch. So free ball by Athens here, handled by Starkweather. Brownlee gets back to the push, dug up there by number 3. Bree Smith has the dig off of Athens' hip. Logston, knowing she's off the net, takes a unique swing, and it gets the point as Ella Coyle dove trying to save that. She was a little deeper, thinking that there's no way she'd get that angle, and lo and behold, Logston got the angle. Hines serves again. It goes to the left back. It's an overpass. Nice shuffle off the net by Starkweather. Back set to Brownlee. Athens does a roll shot out of the back row. It is an overpass, and Urena comes up trying to get her hands on it, touches it. It goes just out of bounds off of her hand. Short serve. I chuckle because it was a definite short serve. There's a scramble. Urena just stuck her hand out open-handed and threw it up. Did save it, but it was in fact a carry. Another short serve. Starkweather had adjusted knowing it was coming. Starkweather hits that out of the middle, handled by Athens off the tip. But it doesn't quite clear the net, bounces back at Logston, who has it bounce off her forehead and her fist, and I don't know what else. But point to Athens to narrow the margin. Top spin serve, Smith passes it up. Urena is able to assist. Nice scramble by Athens. Urena sets the ball, and you have a sweet hit by Starkweather. Deep hit that causes Servatius to chase after it, resulting in a point to Athens. Now, Urena is still in the back row. If you are looking at this going, I don't quite understand it. But that's a nice service series there by number 1, Cassie Babcock, as she was moving it around and trying to find the holes by just hitting a short serve over the net. And then she would push it deep as the back row would come forward. Bordas is back in as Urena rotated to the front row, and Brownlee rotated to the back. Athens pushes it straight down the line, number 11, Braylon Wood, and that results in a kill for her and a point and rotating back. Wood serve, spinning. Urena handles it easily. She approaches and goes up, and I think that's a little bit of the frustration of a couple of mistakes earlier. That was a nice swing. Owlett's back into the game. Starkweather serve goes to the left back. It is a middle set, but it's a little bit of a tight set, so Logston's ready, and there is that block, giving her yet again another one. So if the site gets back up, right now I see that there's a connection error, and it's not just our site. There's some other schools that are having the same issue. You'll see that Logston is leading the team in blocks. In fact, it's legitimate statistics that are there as you watch her having multiple and usually double digits almost every game. And that's not just blocks that are being dug up. Those are blocks that are hitting the floor after the block. So, like I said, it's always great as a coach to have a player that can read a hitter that well. And let's admit, she's tall. So, you like that too. Starkweather goes back to serve. Goes to the left back. Number 3 gets it to the perfect spot for the setter. Dug by Starkweather. Bortis chases after it. Servatius calls it and goes deep. Handled by number 1. Middle hit. Logston's there, and there it is again. Another big block. Now, on a good block, you'll see that as Logston goes up, her teammate should be low and surrounding her so that as it comes off, if it doesn't clear the net, they are there to try to dig it up should it come off sideways. Outside, hit cross court. Starkweather, it goes just off her hands and goes out of bounds. It really is kind of like a dance when you watch it executed as they protect the hitter or they protect the blocker and then they transition back to defense and move around. It's a fun game. Walker's serve goes deep to Servatius, set by Logston, free ball by Owlett. Again, you see Athens doing that transition. Back row hit to number 3, goes down the line. Starkweather passes it to Bortis, outside to Owlett, and it's off. Number 8's hands this time. Cassie Friend has her block this evening. Must have watched a little game tape on Emma's game the other night from Mansfield. She was, or excuse me, North Penn Liberty. She was hot. A deep serve, and this time Servatius makes sure she gets out of the way, and it is a point to Wellsboro. Grace Hines in for that libero. Again, she's entering from behind the 10-foot line and the end line because it doesn't count as a substitution. And Logston's serve, is low and into the bottom of the tape. Servatius back in for Logston. Cassie Friend's serve is low and sharp. Overpass by Starkweather. The missed time jump there results in a point for Wellsboro. Brownlee's in for Bortis, which means Urena's back to serve and set. Urena's top spinning serve. That was beautiful serve. Free ball by Athens. Urena comes up after Brownlee's pass. And Emma Owlett finishes the play and gives the second set to Wellsboro again. So by a score of 25-17, Wellsboro gets the second set. Let's see if they can finish this in 3 this evening. Remember, it is a best-of-5 series, win by 2 in each one, with the exception of the 5th game is only the 15 if it's needed. In earlier action, JV contest, that did go 3 sets. I admit I was at the cross-country match, so I didn't make it. I've never been to one before, so I was able to go and see how a cross-country match runs, and it's very fun to see our kids. That it's a little difficult to see their entire running format, but you do get to see them in a couple of different sections. So we were cheering them on, and I think they did well. I don't know how it's scored in points, and it was a tri-meet. So we hosted Troy and Towanda this evening. So I don't know if it was scored separately or if they're all scored together. I'm still trying to figure it all out. So in this weekend's action, once the football game was canceled on Towanda versus Towanda on Friday night, they did have an opportunity to reschedule it for Port Allegheny on Saturday. That's my old alma mater, so of course I went to watch. And Wellsboro played so well. I was talking to Mrs. Adams down at the scorers table and said I was just super impressed with our guys and how well they played together as a team. It was very, very impressive. So it looks like neither team is going to take the full 3-minute timeout here in between. It does not appear that they have changed anything up drastically. It is the same set of starters that are on the floor. Athens is going to be serving here. And we're right back to action. Deep serve by number 11 is out of bounds and point and rotation to Wellsboro. Bortis' serve goes deep. It's a little bit of a float handled by Athens. Outside hit by number 12, dug by Smith. Perfect placement. Bortis sets to Starkweather, who has to tip it. An attempt out of the middle by number 8. Beautiful approach. Her hand, though, did not snap down like you do for a follow-through, and it floated on her a little bit. Bordes' serve goes deep to the middle this time. A roll shot by number 12, Allie Martin, draws the kill for her, as both Servatius and Smith dove and almost had that pancake. Coming into the game is number 2, Kaylin McDaniel for Athens. Walker serve. She has that little shuffle you see with her feet, handled by Bree Smith. Urena does her approach, but it is a little behind her head. Oh, it appears that number 2 was in the net, so it is a point. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, there is a rotation. I got a little lost there. I forgot that Walker served that. So Wellsboro rotates, and it is a serve by Starkweather. Middle hit by number 8, and another block by Logsdon. Woo! I know I'm supposed to be a little more neutral when I'm announcing, but hey. I get really excited when freshmen show some serious measure here. I can't wait to see what she does the next 3 years. All right, free ball, handled by a floor spike, dug by, Owlett. A little net play results in a free ball by Wellsboro to settle it down. Set up by Athens, a tip off the block, and that's a dual block by both Urena and Logsdon. So yes, they each earned a half there on that because they shared that block. I know, a little weird. But Starkweather goes cross court, and the outside set. Servatius is ready. Ball is set to Logsdon, sees the hole and takes a little power off and finds that spot. Another kill for Logsdon. She is having a game tonight. Starkweather serves deep. Number 11 handles it. It is free balled by Walker. Pass by Servatius. A outside hit here by Owlett. It is handled by Athens. It is a inside. It's not truly an outside. It wasn't quite a middle. It wasn't quite an outside hit. But number 8 hits that and finds the seam and gets the point for Athens. Cassie Friend. She's now back to serve. She goes deep. Starkweather's ready. Bordes. Oh, no. She was there early, but I think she took her eye off the ball trying to go where she knew she was headed, and it went right between her hands. Now, technically, if you miss the ball, it should bounce off your forehead, so it kind of showed you that she was a little out of position there. Servatius is ready for that one. Passes it right where Bordes needs it. Perfect set to Owlett. So that's what you do as a setter. If you make a mistake, you come right back with the perfect set, and that's just what Bordes did. And Owlett used every note of it. Logsdon's back to serve. She goes down the line. It is a tight hit, and Urena waits the tip attempt, and as number 1 goes to tip, she has that one arm up and gets her own block. Logsdon goes the other way this time, handled by number 12. Middle hit by number 1, off the hands of Hines. Set up by Owlett as Hines attempts to take it over. She swings and misses, and it bounces off her head. Back into the game is Servatius. Martin serves, and it's a top spinning serves handled by Starkweather. Little help needed by Hines. Owlett is able just to do that pretty little vertical she has, and it's up and down the line with control, resulting in a point to Wellsboro. Brownlee's back into the game, and Urena's back to serve. She rolls down the line, passed up by Athens, resulting in a free ball. It goes just wide. Point, Wellsboro. Urena serves again. Top spin to number 12. Walker sets it right back to her, and she goes to go down the line, and it's just a little bit wide. It's the right idea. I like to see some of the things that Athens doing. I don't know if they're a young team or an older team, but I do like to see what they're trying to execute right now. Just sometimes takes a little time, or being on the roads can be a little difficult. Wellsboro, on the other hand, I'm very impressed with the versatility of the players. For a number of matches, you've seen Coach Zahusky run a number of different lineups, and it's nice to see the ladies stepping up with each expectation that Coach Zahusky has of them. And it's also nice to see that they're jumping out here instead of the lull that we have seen is that sometimes happens that third set. So let's see if they can continue to push and press forward and wrap this match up. Urena serve down the line, a little shorter this time, handled by number 8. It's a little bit of an overpass. Number 1 tries to pop it up, but it hits into the net, and she plays it a second time. Urena goes deeper to the middle. Handled by Walker. Outside hit by number 11, Wood, but it doesn't quite cross the net. Urena serves again down the middle. Walker handles it. Accidentally runs into her help in friend, and we're going to see a substitution here with number 3 coming in for number 2. So back into the game is Ella Coyle for Kaylin McDaniel. Again, Athens is doing that 3-man serve receive. However, Walker's staying just a little off the net there to try to get the short if needed. Free ball by Athens. Servatius takes that free ball. Help by Brownlee. Roll shot by Owlett. Short ball is dug by Owlett. Set right back up to her. And she hits it just off the line shot and results in a kill. Nice hit. Although we're not seeing the approach and the slam down tonight that Owlett has, she has a very controlled hit that she is utilizing extremely well to get what she needs done. Grace Hines comes off the net for the dig. Free balled over by Starkweather. Set to the middle. And it is just outside the hands of Starkweather. Coming into the game is Isabel Andreg for Lexi Urena. Now, Urena and Logston are both freshmen, and Izzy Andreg is a sophomore. So it's nice to see the experience coming and that this program is just going to continue to reload. Approach by Brownlee results in a deep free ball. Servatius is ready. Outside hit. Owlett wails on that time, and it is overpassed, but hits the floor on Wellsboro's side, even on the overpass. Back to serve. We have number 3, Ella Coyle. Handled by Brownlee. Free ball deep by Hines. Little communication there. Goes opposite direction by Walker. It is a set by Brownlee. It is passed up by number 8, where Walker calls for help, but Coyle's feet slip out from underneath her. Coming into the game for Emma Owlett is number 1, Cleveland, and she serves it into the net. And you see Wellsboro's 3-man serve receive. A short roll shot. Cleveland passes it up. Outside hit to Starkweather, who uses the top of the block and finds the floor. Point Wellsboro. And that would be a kill for Starkweather. Okay, what you just saw there is that Logsdon is in the lineup, and so she has to come back into the game because that is the true lineup. Lockett was coming in for Logsdon, and so she has to actually substitute in. Had she gone in like she expected, like she would on JV, would have been an illegal substitution. A hit down the line by number 8, Cassie Friend, and finds the floor. Back into the game is Servatius. Braylon Wood's serve is going to go deep this time, and it is a little bit long. Her hand came right underneath that, and you could see it lift as it floated. Maddie Bordas is in for Brownlee, and a timeout is being taken by Athens. So that'll give both teams a little bit of a time to adjust, talk about some corrections. It looks like Coach had written some stuff down she wanted to talk to her team, about there. And we're going to see here on Wellsboro side, it's a time for Coach Zahusky to make sure everybody who's just come into the game knows their responsibilities and duties and who is going in for whom, to make sure you don't lose an easy point on something like a rotation. It's a much quieter game here at the gymnasium than it has been at the Hive in the last couple of games. But coming back into the game right now is Lexi Urena for Izzy Andrag. And Izzy's laughing because she thought, I'm going to get the spike, which is what she said, I think. But Lexi's coming back into the game here. Maddie Bird is a line drive serve with an overpass. Starkweather is there. She looked a little guilty, but Coach from Athens wanted to call it a contact in the net. She said she was in the net. The others said no, they weren't. They discuss it and said no, the ball pushed the net into the player, which is not in the net. That is a different play, so it is a legitimate call. Bordas serves to number 11. She passes it up. It is a back row attack. Hits the bottom of the tape. It is kind of frustrating when you think somebody's in the net, but that really was a legitimate call. The ball got pushed into the net, into the hand. So an overpass there as a really good serve is done by Bordas, and another point to Wellsboro, 21-8. Bordas is, oh my goodness, it was a low driving serve and hits off the head of Lockett. And there's some chuckles going on at the net and some apologies, and Lockett's like, that always happens. That's the hard part about being the person on the front line. Walker, her serve, floats, Servatius still laughing, passes that perfectly to Bordas, who gives it to Lockett. Lockett uses it well, and it goes just to the line and actually hits on the line. Yes, as the setter who hit Lockett in the head, you try to feed her the ball and say, I'll make up for it. All right. Taylor Walker, serve deep, a little bit of a backspin. Cleveland handles it. It's a little in the back row. Urena is going to end up having to free ball it over. Approach and a little bit of a controlled swing there by Athens. Outside set to Starkweather, and it just catches the net. A floating serve. I think that's her first service error tonight. She has a nice little serve there, Walker does. It's a little half jump serve. It's just a little skip serve. So back into the game is Owlett for Cleveland. Starkweather serves the back middle. It is set to the outside. Owlett digs it up. Bordas sets her right back. Beautiful set, but it hits the antenna and results in a point for Athens. Cassie Friend's serve goes deep. Servatius decides to play it. Perfect placement for, oh my goodness. Dug by number 11. Dug up there off that push by Bordis. And so Urena sets Emma Owlett, and this time she makes sure it finds the floor. That's 2 big swings back-to-back for Owlett. Nice dig there by Athens on that first hit. Lockett goes to serve, and it hits the net. And so Servatius comes in for Lockett in the back row. Allie Martin serve, top spins. You have Servatius getting it. Emma Owlett sets it up. Starkweather pushes it over. Walker sets outside to number 11. It is a roll shot. Servatius uses it. Bordis calls for it. Outside hit to Owlett. Goes hard cross. Number 12, Martin, is diving for it, trying to dig it up. It is a point and match point here to Wellsboro as Brownlee comes back in the game for Bordis. Urena's back to serve. Top spin serve goes off the outstretched arms of Martin, resulting in an ace for match point. Wellsboro has a big win tonight. Both teams look at each other and say, good game. I do miss the camaraderie of getting closer, but hopefully that'll be back with us next season, as hopefully this COVID stuff will finally be behind us. But in the meantime, we need to abide by the policies of the CDC, the state government, and school district. So this is Jody Niver here. We will see you again at the next home game, which is October 20th with Wellsboro. It's Wednesday. However, there are a couple of games in the meantime away, so be looking for those online. As I know Saturday is Towanda, possibly Wednesday. It says at Central Mountain, but I don't think that game is happening. And again, then next Tuesday, they are away at North Penn Liberty. So on behalf of the people, of our members in the booth, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our booth crew for the amazing job they do game in and game out. And we will see you all next time. Stay safe in the meantime. Good night.